Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast about Dragon Ball from A to Z, from Earth to Namek to Sadala. We cover it all. My name is Randy.
My name is Doug.
And I'm going Nahare mode, Ken.
Whoa. I'm interested to see what that entails. Anyway, we're the world's strongest under the heavens trio de dangers here every other week to talk your ear off about fights, goofs, and everything else in the Dragon Ball cosmos. Doug, welcome back.
Yo, sorry I missed last week, man, but hey, I've got some figures to show you guys. All right, and remember when I said Doug's not buying customs? He's not into, third party. Oh, it's too late now. I've got so much. I got this Gotenks kit, this Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 kit. It's got like his nice like blasting face. It's got like his beat up face over here. It's got even Boo in the volleyball. It's really cool. It's a super awesome set. $50 if you guys want it on 5K Toys. Not sponsored. It's just really cool, which is weird because then like you pay, that's like $50 for that, right? But then you $30 you get this like Trunks hair and had 2 faceplates, which is like nothing. This doesn't seem worth it, but compared to this Gotenks kit, awesome. Can
I poo-poo on some third-party kits real quick?
Please.
I noticed, and the Gotenks might fall prey to this, but I've noticed like with a lot of the Vegeta ones, they do not give these guys enough forehead.
I don't know. I've never seen... Well, I don't get many Vegeta ones. I don't think I get any Vegeta ones, honestly. Yeah, I think maybe that's the same reason I don't, Ken, is because they don't look right to me. And maybe that's you just pointed out what about it is that I don't. Yeah. But no, this Gotenks one looks amazing. I'll have to make a TikTok short or YouTube short someday about it. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah. Hopefully it's as good as that one you recently did about your KFC little
That was really fun. I didn't know mini brands existed, but now I might be addicted. But I'm gonna hold back. But I've got a lot more figures. I'm just kind of, it's just too much. I've missed so many weeks that I don't know what I showed and what I didn't. But it's just too much. This
Ken,
just came in
throw
today.
up a photo of all of the boxes that he's got lined up right there.
Okay.
I'll throw you that. And then a friend's birthday was this past weekend, and she wanted to do like a painting and wine night. And like you pull up a video of like step by steps how to paint a nice like scenery with like birds in the forest in the whatever. I showed up late. I didn't know there was videos to watch, so I just did freehand. And so this is my beautiful piece. It's It started out with as Mount Pow's, but I had to audible because it looked like just a huge dick. So I'm like, all right, let me add that. For before it was just like cut down the line, and then I drew this and made it worse. So I'm like, no, I need to fix it. So yeah, and then I got bored and I just drew like a comet coming towards, and then little Goku or someone being scared. But yeah, I don't know. This is my art piece. All right, this is why I don't go into art. This is why I switch over to A and B's. But yeah,
I like it. And if you join our tier 3 Patreon, you can get that. No,
hey, I'll make copies.
The Doug's art shirt.
No, that's not a penis. It's a mountain. Doug, put it down. Don't put it down there.
All right, I'm done.
Inappropriate. That's it? That's all you got?
Like I said, I can show you a lot more, but we'd be here all day. I'm showing you figures.
That's fair. Ken,
if that's what the people want, though.
Yeah, so I just want to apologize in advance, and you'll hear why I just coughed. Today's episode is brought to you by Hall's Cough and Throat Relief.
Oh, boy.
So if you hear me, like it sounds like I got something in my mouth, it's because I do. We just had like our first cold snap of the season, and the air got super dry, and like as soon as that happened, my cough that I get every year just like came back full force. So I'm going to have cough drops in my mouth the whole episode.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Doug, have you ever played Vampire Survivors?
I love Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. Did you play any of the Castlevania DLC?
I didn't know that existed.
Oh, well, I beat the Castlevania DLC and it was incredible.
Really?
So anyone out there who, for whatever reason, hasn't gotten the Vampire Survivors Castlevania DLC, you got to jump on that. I don't want to say anything else, but it goes way further than you would possibly imagine from a game like this, and it's awesome.
How much is the DLC?
It's like $4 or something.
That's not bad, yeah.
And
I don't even know how much is the game.
They always apologize for how much the DLC costs. They're like, why is it so expensive? Well, we think that we put a lot of game, and it's like, it's $4, but
you deserve it. You deserve the $4 for all this work you do. Yeah, plus it's a Castlevania thing of all things. I can't tell how far along I am in this game. I haven't played it in months, but I love hopping back into it and just playing it for a few hours or whatever, but I can't tell if there's like more game or not. Like I feel like I'm supposed to be unlocking more stuff, but I'm not. I don't know, but I'm just trying to unlock every character so far. But I just know I feel like I've just scratched the surface of the game.
And then today in the mail, I got Digimon the movies.
Ooh,
First 3 Digimon movies.
It's so shiny.
Ordered this from Crunchyroll. Discotheque.
Yeah.
The OGs. The goats. They're not the OGs, but they're the goats.
I should have ordered from Crunchyroll, but I wanted to save like $4 and I got it from Amazon. And they ain't shipping that thing until release date, December 17th. But I see you and everybody on Blue Sky getting it weeks in advance. I'm like,
dang, that sucks, Randy.
So I did have it ordered on Amazon, but it's actually cheaper, even with shipping, to get it off of Crunchyroll as of right now.
So Black Friday sale or something.
Yeah, Black Friday sale. I immediately canceled Amazon, ordered it from Crunchyroll, and boom, I already got it.
Randy, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Together.
No, I've got a show. I can't do this right now.
We'll be right back, folks.
What have you been up to?
I played through a fun little game called 1000 Times Resist. I believe it's on Switch and also on Steam. It's just a fun, I say. It's a very interesting narrative game that's like in the future. I don't know. I don't want to really spoil anything because it's good and it's only 10 hours long. It's pretty cheap. And if you like moody things like Nier Automata, or I'll say it, Evangelion, you might enjoy this game. There's really not a lot of gameplay to it. It's a lot of like running around and just like talking to people. But it goes in a lot of weird places and, you know, it's just very good. So I would highly recommend it. And I have another thing here that I want to talk about from last episode, which I thought about doing an edit. Ken talked me out of it. He's like, no, just hold on and do this next episode, which was we had a really, really great comment on the YouTube version of the show from last episode where we were talking about Komaki. Is that her name? Yuki Komaki? Is that the right first name?
Yuko Kakihara.
Yuko Kakihara. Who's Komaki?
You're thinking of Aya Komaki, which is one of the series directors.
It's my other name for Kikuchi.
Kikuchi. Kukichi.
Kikuchi. Well, that's too close to the right way. But yeah, we had a really, really great comment from Kai Alone over on the YouTube version, and it's very extensive, and I really like that, but I want to keep it short here and just read 2 short paragraphs here that says, I disagree with what Randy said regarding that you had to have watched a really obscure TV special to get the plot thing. A villain that shows up in Try appears in that special, yes, but they are a villain from the general Digimon null lore, i.e. the lore of the V-Pets, etc. It's hard to describe this if you're not a Digimon fan, but generally Digimon fans just know this guy. They've been in more than one show, many video games, etc. And since Digimon lives and dies by nostalgic fans, appealing to this kind of null lore is par for the course in any Digimon work at this point. Most comparable, I guess, is like if Toa or Kula or the like showed up in Daima or something, I suppose. Like, you wouldn't assume they're too obscure to be here. And that's very fair. So I wanted to say I'm sorry for that comparison because I'm just not a real Digimon fan. And I didn't know that extensively, even though it's not really that extensive. You know, I just had to be in it longer than the like 2.5 seasons of Digimon that I've watched a lot of.
It would be the same, Randy. I think it would be like if Ryo, remember he shows up in Tamers, but he was from a series of games on the Wonder Swan back in the day. But people into Digimon at that time just knew who he was, and so him just randomly showing up wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
For those of you in the audio podcast, Ken's holding up Charizard, Black Charizard.
Yeah, Black Charizard.
No, his name is what?
Cyberdramon.
There we go.
Dude, someone just... I heard them squee. I hear you. I know it.
In the future, and also without, being able to... If you didn't have a microphone, that's just how the things work. Other quick things. So I went to the Daima North America tour at the Mall of America. Yeah. Which was a ton of fun. I was wearing the hair during Mario Kart on Saturday.
Yeah, you were.
So that was great. It was a lot of fun. Went there early Friday at like 10 a.m., which is when they opened to do the whole thing.
Dang.
Waited in line, went around and checked out all of like the merchandise and figures and things they had going on.
Was there a lot to do?
I would say that there was a decent amount. I mean, I was there for a couple of hours.
Okay.
So I was in line to buy some figures, which I bought a thing for Doug, and you'll get it in the mail soon.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Although afterwards, I got so upset at the world that the picture you took cut off like the left, where there's this one figure that is super rare, and they only sell those things that you just managed to not get.
Oh,
had I known that was there,
I just took a shot of the SH figure. I'm like, he doesn't care about anything else.
I already have one. It's this. You might have seen this Daimetsuri or whatever, Goku Final End of Z. That is only being sold at New York Comic Con and these events. There's not on Premium Bandai yet. It doesn't look like it's going to be on Premium Bandai, so it's really rare to get.
Yeah.
But I have one, so I'm okay. You're forgiven, Randy. I won't wait for the apology, but you're forgiven.
And I actually went all in and I bought some little guys myself.
You did! SH Figure Arts.
They are mini. Thank you. But yes, little Daima mini Vegeta and Goku. And you know what, guys? These things are pretty neat.
You see with the appeal. Exactly. Now you understand.
If you're listening to the audio version, I implore you to just go to this part of the video version, because you've probably seen these figure arts online, but they are so much smaller than you can possibly fathom.
Yeah.
For a $35 action figure.
Hey, 35 is as low as they get, baby. So I'm fine with that. 35 is SH Figure Arts base price, and yes, it sucks. Wish it came with more, but yeah.
But they're to scale, right? That's the whole thing with them now. Is that the SH Figure Arts line are to
for the
scale.
most part, and it comes with an extra little skirt and faces and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they would just come in like a thin, like here I'll show. They would come like
all right. Doug's reaching back. He's grabbing
GT Goku. Okay. They've come in like the smaller one with not much, and this is still this is $55 or whatever for this GT Goku base price. But yeah.
Well, yeah, because they included all the accessories rather than making you buy like Super 17 and all these other figures to get the accessories for that Goku. Because that's the one, right?
Yes. That GT Goku figure is not a figure. He is a platform for additional figure DLC.
At this point, a lot of them are now. It's a weird marketing scheme that they got me with.
Yeah. So
that's
it was
how
a lot
I started
of fun.
looking. It's crazy.
It was a lot of fun and got to go around and play some Sparking Zero in person. And you could only use standard controls. So I was there for 10 seconds. I'm like, nope, I'm done. And I left. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So
they didn't
I
have
just
inverted
left.
For you?
It's called Classic. It's not inverted. All right.
Classic. Oh, what a purist.
It's what I have muscle memory of. Because I was just playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Goku would adapt, is all I'm saying.
All right. So did all that. Met a new buddy, and it was a good time. So that's probably why I was around for so long, was because I actually had someone to hang out with and take pictures.
That's cool.
If you want, throw up various things, me at different things, making stupid faces. You're welcome to do that, and that'll be a good time.
Just going to throw up one, and it's the one of you on Kinton. And
yes, I think that's what I was thinking of.
So that's
like
the only
something
one
about
screen.
It has to be like your knowledge of Dragon Ball. You know how to pose with that. Like what doesn't look goofy. Like you actually you look like legit, cool on that thing, man. You nailed it.
Well, thank you. That's what I was going for. So that was a total blast, and I know that it's coming around to some places on the East Coast,
New Jersey.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's already happened by the time this episode's out or not, but I don't know. Go see. Go hang out. Get some cool swag.
Go buy that other figure.
That's true. Actually, that's funny because the friend that I made, when he had gotten that figure, he's like, I had to call.
Oh, you even okay?
Well, I
knew
didn't
of its existence. I know. I actually think it wasn't on that same board of the picture you took for me. Like, hey, Doug, there's these figures. You want any of them? I think it was like on a separate board on that specific one you were looking at. But actually, looking at the picture, I could see in the background the actual physical box of it in the corner behind their stall. But it's crazy.
You talk about SH Figure Arts, I know that, and anything else comes up, I'm like, whatever.
I'm telling you, that figure is going on sale for $60 at those places. It'll be $300 in a year.
Yeah.
That's the same one as I have another one, the original one that I bought for $60. It's going for $300 now. It's ridiculous. I don't know why.
Stuff gets crazy.
Well, the fact that these are even more rare, like the older ones were very generic and easy to get when they were coming out. But the fact that these are super rare and only at these conventions, it's gonna make it even crazier of a price.
Yeah, now you got to pay for a flight or for a buddy to show up there and get it. And then last of all, friend of the show, Tomes. Oh, he's sucking on a thing. Okay, there we go. I looked up to see Ken was, working on that lozenge. I'm like, he can't.
I'm listening.
All right, he's got it.
I make time for Tomes.
We all do. He had contacted me and said, I'm looking for a home for some figures. And I said, yes. So I got Red In Space Ranger and Astronema from In Space, from Power Rangers, which is super great. Thank you. Unfortunately, I also opened the box and there was an extra surprise in there. And I jump scared. I could have wet myself a little because we have a we have a Doltaki in the box.
Oh god, put it back in the box.
I don't know what he did to Astronema in there, and I would prefer not to know.
Now we can refer to Randy as the kind of guy who owns a Doltaki.
Who owns a Doltaki figure?
Nope. Straight into the fire.
Why does that make so much sense, though?
It shouldn't. So thank you, Tomes. Very, very nice to have these
That's
Power
awesome.
Rangers figures and some kindling. So thank you. But that's enough of talking about figures and all this other stuff, because I'm sure you're here to listen to us jibber jabber about some Dragon Ball Daima, because we're here to do episodes 7 and 8, the most recent ones to us. I know that you've seen number 9. I know you have, but that's just how time works. Dragon Ball Daima, what is it? It's the new anime series that started October 11th and is the most Toriyama involvement ever. Takes place a year after the fight with Majin Buu, during Trunks' birthday, the day that we all know. And Ken, why don't you give us the recap of what has happened recently in Dragon Ball Daima?
Last time on Dragon Ball Daima, Operation Destination Dende continues as Goku's group partners up with Pansy. After receiving a new spaceship, plane from her father King Kadan, our rogue heroes rocket off again towards their first Dragon Ball. Meanwhile, Bulma's hard work seems to have been all for naught as Shin's old ship can't achieve liftoff. However, will Vegeta and Piccolo make it to the Daima Wonderland?
Fantastic job, Ken.
Indeed.
I appreciate you soldiering through your cold and making it.
Nailed it. Barely nailed it. Oh, he's on the rocks.
So we want to do our big picture temperature check. Do we want to do that before we read this very insightful comment? Or do we want to do the insightful comment first? Ken, what do you want to do?
Let's just do our temperature check. Doug, we've missed your opinion. Where are you at?
Maybe rightfully so, because man, my temperature is low. I'm sicker than Ken right now with this show, because it's starting to drag for me, man. I don't know about you. I listened to the last podcast, and I kind of agree with your sentiment, Ken, where it's just like, yeah, and the Toriyama involvement feels less and less like he was involved, and more of just like they're just using his name. They have like rough ideas of what he wanted to do, but aren't doing it the right way. Yes, I'm not. I'm still optimistic. I'm still having fun with it, but it's dragging for me.
Dragon Ball Daima for you?
Hey. For me, I think episode 7 was the worst episode of the show so far, which is funny because episode 8 was the best one. So
Yeah.
my idea that these episodes were meant to be watched in pairs continues. 7 and 8 were both about Tamagami number 3, as predicted. Also, as predicted, Hibis just showed up, and total convenience. Hey, I'm here, and just took them off, and
let's go.
The bad episode endings continue. So there's like a lot of issues throughout these, but I know, Belle, I agree. Episode 8, though, was really great, but even in its greatness, I know I still have some issues with it.
Your dog agrees.
We'll, or she's telling me to shut up. I can't tell. But, wow. All right. So, Randy, can you get Belle in here? Let's get Belle's true opinion. If she can't make it, what's yours?
My opinion is that, you know what? Episode 7 is kind of a, oof. Stuff happened. But, again, I'm having an okay time. I just think that it was kind of the least exciting thing, or it offered the least amount. And but episode 8, oh man, we were going on all cylinders, and that was really, really great. And I would like to examine why I feel that way and all of that. And I'm sure we'll get to that over the course of this episode.
Let's dish it out.
Yeah. Before we do that, and hopefully those dogs chill out. And normally I try to cut them out, but then Ken had to, highlight it.
Yeah, so part of the show.
I'll just be quiet. I can cut it all out. But now they live here. They live in the show. So we had SSJShane over on Blue Sky, who had some really great thoughts here. Said, I listened to your GT retrospective recently enough, and it seemed up until the baby arc, where it was very much an adventure show with some of your guys' favorite stuff. I think most people would agree Daima is of a similar vibe and setting to those episodes, but you seem to enjoy less. What reasons are dragging it down for you? Or would you say, now that some time has passed, maybe you don't like those episodes of GT as much as you thought? Just a question. Always find what you have to say on the series interesting. Downloaded this app just so I could hear your thoughts off the pod. Oh man.
I think if I may go first.
Yeah.
Going from GT, which was just a slog, to then reading the moral arc in the manga, to then going to Daima, it's a very definite like missing of charm and pacing that Daima has compared to that. Like you go from bad to like what GT, what the worst could be, to like moral, which is like, okay, this guy has a passion, he knows what he's doing with it, and then to Daima, it just didn't vibe for me.
I think I said it at the time that GT is a really strong first 40 episode series.
Yeah.
So just I jotted down some notes here of things I think my reasons would be. Voice cast. It's only Goku now. Everyone else is different, and while I like them, not having Horikawa around or Furukawa makes the world of difference.
Yeah.
You know, now you say in GT we were just with Trunks' actor, Trunks and Pan, but even then that was Videl, right? That was her actress. You had Trunks still around. A lot of the other actors came in and did like roles of the aliens that they were encountering in space. Like I think Ten Shin Han did one.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing the episode count ahead of time has really put a damper on everything. Of course, GT, it's really apples and oranges because GT's been gone for a long time. We know 64 episodes and all of that, but it's different. I don't know how to put it. Knowing the timestamp on it now changes things. This show is really like a slow drip vehicle for lore drops, so they can have like a big lore drop every episode. Yeah. Like if you think about everything we've learned about Kaioshin up through this episode, learning that I'm going to start using Good Indian.
Wow.
The tree birth stuff and Nahare are in 3 different episodes.
Oh, are they spread out like that? Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whereas we could have just kind of gone over all that at once.
True.
Also, I knew GT wasn't a Toriyama joint going in, and so it was being judged differently. But the way that they've marketed this, Daima still feels at odds with Toriyama a lot of the time. And I'm probably, when we get to reviewing Granola, Doug, I'm probably going to be rougher on it, even though I'm pretty positive on it altogether.
Okay.
But I'm going to be rougher on it considering the way that they talk about the Granola arc being more of a Toriyama-driven part of the story. And so expectations are different.
Yeah. 100%.
So for me, there's just so much different about the GT situation and versus where we are with Daima that they're totally separate beasts for me. And a lot of it comes from voice cast being different. We know the episode count, supposedly. This is a Toriyama vehicle.
Just that alone is like, oh boy, this is a Toriyama joint. I can't wait to see what,
it's a different standard.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at. Randy?
So I have some thoughts listening to that, which I think were really good points that illustrated some of the, more nuanced differences. We had learned kind of about the length of this show being about 20 some episodes. They haven't made an official announcement there yet, but just from information we've been able to glean that's kind of what it is, 20, 25-ish, right? And there's also the fact that this was kind of an evolving product where it was originally going to be a net series first. And thinking about that and watching some things from Totally Not Mark, a really great YouTube channel with a lot of really great content on there. Check it out. Talking about how this series is evolving and how it's been handled. It made me wonder, with episodes ending very strangely, it's kind of like, okay, we had time to fill, and sometimes we've got a recap thing, like, oh, Goku did this thing or whatever, and now he's out doing this, and here we are, and then we start the opening theme. That it's kind of like, okay, we're chopping and screwing the original series we had to fit to TV length slots that we could put on television in Japan, because that's where it's airing. And then of course we're getting it here streamed. Is that maybe these were of a longer length. These could have been 30-some minute episodes. These could have been 2 episodes as 40-some minutes or whatever. What if this information, because things have changed and evolved so much, like we used to call it Dragon Ball Magic before we knew it was Daima because they changed it like 2 days before. What if the show, 20-some episodes, but that was when they were 2-in-1s. And now we're looking at like a 40-some episode run. Does that make us feel better? If it's possible that now we know that we've got double the length, Ken, how would that make you feel?
If that were true.
Right. This is all hypothetical.
Cool. That would be cool to know that we've got more runway where we can just be wasting time, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
like
fair.
When we got to the end of episode 7, or towards the end, I'm like, okay, we're kind of running out of time for them to have that end of episode fight here with Tamagami. And then they get to the statue, and I'm like looking at I'm not looking at my watch, but I'm looking at where I'm at. I'm like, well, maybe we've got like 10 minutes. Maybe that's enough to do it. And then they're like, so you're going to fight him now? And Goku says no. And I'm like, oh my God, come on. So if it were 40 episodes, then I'd be more like, okay, I guess we have room to pull chicanery like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But because funny, we're like, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Taking a look at it, we have just after episode 8, we have our first Dragon Ball. We have 2 more to go. We have 2 whole worlds to explore. Granted, who knows how much time we're going to spend on those, if it's going to be, well, we stayed in the first one for a long time, and then we're going to be the second one even shorter, and then the third one even shorter than that. And when all of this Arinsu stuff is going to happen, because we have her to deal with, we've got Goma, we've got Degasu, we've got to figure out, like, okay, how are we going to turn back to adults? I mean, like, obviously, probably.
I can't believe we actually been on this Demon Realm for, like, 5 episodes at least already. Like, it's so much time in this world. We didn't need all this time here.
We don't need anything. I mean, we're just kind of out having an adventure. But anyway, that's my own feelings. So I'm wondering, like, maybe this is a lot longer than we were thinking, 20-some episodes. Or maybe this was just our first chunk of this story arc where it's like, all right, we produced 20-some episodes and then we're going to do the rest, in like a year or 2. Much like how stuff goes now for like My Hero Academia and things like that, where we do like, oh, we did 20-some episodes, give us a year and a half, we'll do season 2 and so on and so forth. I don't know. It's tough to know when we don't have official information, and I don't want to be like setting my hopes on a possible thing that like, oh, it's different by like, maybe it is 40-some episodes, but I'm just trying to think things through and see if, where that could lead us. I've said that I don't really like some of the things that are happening for pacing, but overall I'm having a pretty good time. So I would say I'm enjoying the adventure. And like, would I like it if there's 2 episodes in a row and we get to do more, or, something else happens that's a little more bombastic? Yeah, sure. But it is what it is. And I'm kind of enjoying it. I randomly had a thought today of like, how was season 1 of Avatar when that show was coming out, when each episode kind of like was kind of going to a place and doing a thing. And, we had like a required battle for a minute or 2 to be like, oh, we got to have some action. Otherwise, kids are going to tune out or whatever. And like, Avatar's great. Maybe this is just kind of feeling like that. And yeah, we just have some different expectations coming into it. And that's kind of what's dragging us down. I don't know. I could talk about this for a long time, but I'm going to end it there.
Yeah. Anyways, Shane, thank you for writing. And that was a great question, allowing us to kind of look inward about, well, I'm not going to thank you for making us revisit GT, but thank you for for the thoughtful question.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. So let's jump into these episodes proper. We had first episode 7, Caller, and do we just want to jump into the events here? Is there anything in particular you want to highlight before we go in? I know that we said that we weren't big fans, of this one. Out of the 2.
I watched this episode a week ago, so I forget all about it, and I think there's like 2 things that stick out, and that's it for me.
I think of the whole show so far, this was the one episode that I actually did not enjoy in the moment.
Okay, gotcha. That's fair.
And, I've said I watched this in Japanese live first, and frequently when I watch it, and I'm in a chat, AJ is often in that chat as well, and he was worrying about this being a Yashima board, which it wasn't. It was actually outsourced to another production. But I usually don't pay attention to like the storyboarding on stuff. I'm just in it for the ride, and I'm more paying attention to little details. But even I noticed how bad it was. And I'm like, wow, there's like a whole shot where it's Goku slowly running into the bush. Why are we showing this? We could be doing anything else.
It's supposed to be comedic or whatever, but it missed the mark.
That's fair. So let's just go through this, and then maybe we can remind you what happened here, Doug, because it's been a bit for you.
Yeah.
So first up, broad strokes for things. Hybis arrives to bring the crew to the demon realm because Bulma is trying to fix that ship that broke down, and there's an element in there that seems to be on the fritz, and unfortunately it must be a demon realm part, so there's no way to really replace it. Hybis shows up and is like, hey, what's up? I got a ship. Let's go, guys.
I told you I was going to praise the show so much if they didn't do this. And this is what they did.
And yet they chose to do exactly that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, overly convenient.
Yeah. Oh, there was one thing too. Because I missed last week's podcast. The episodes back then, as we're like going towards, as Panji's taking us to like the kingdom or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, please don't be the daughter of the king. Please don't be the daughter of the king. That stereotype, and here I am. Yeah, I'm the princess or whatever. It's like, oh my god. Okay, nothing too original here.
Yeah, I feel you.
Goku is eating. Well, we're gonna jump to Goku, but he's eating manpuku dumplings. Manpuku literally just means full stomach, which is like
full-bellied Zenkai power.
Look, this is a series of many puns, right? And we have one of the main characters of the show is named Female Underwear, right? Okay,
yeah,
so
sure, yeah.
But so many things in this, like when we were looking at the bugs and stuff at that tea shop or whatever, where it was literally just whatever it was. Oh, this is a blank bug, and it is just the word, the exact word of what it is.
That's so,
there's no creativity in.
No.
Like, call it Pukumon dumpling, right? Move it around a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Switch up the anagrams or whatever.
Nah, that one's good because it's a callback to a lyric from Zenkai Power. So that makes it all good.
Manpuku Zenkai Power.
Full body,
full tummy. Yeah.
Full belly. Yeah.
And
so,
one
I'm
is
okay
worth
with that one.
2 meals. How much did a senzu fill you up for?
This is a Senpai trivia question.
Or wait, am I? What was the fruit in the Hell episode from on the way to Kaio's place? Was it like 10?
I don't know.
Yeah. I want to say it was a full day or 3 or 10.
I'm gonna say 2 weeks
for the
2 weeks.
senzu. It's a lot, but yeah, he's filling up on multiple days of those. So that's Goku for you.
Yeah.
Goku and company get pulled over by the military police, and while trying to sneak Goku around, a fight breaks out. I really liked this kind of thing of like, oh, I've got a plan, and then they go to investigate the ship where Goku is just sitting there, like not really completely hidden.
Yeah.
And Pansy's like, oh no, and then all of a sudden Goku is just beside them. Like, what the heck? Like, yeah, he can, do his teleport thing.
I like the reminder though, like it reminds the audience how that technique works though, is that he needs a body, because I think a lot of us always forget that it's like he can just teleport anywhere. It's like no, he needs to lock on to someone's key to get there.
But I don't like that he's able to do it easily, because that was something that GT did, which is like in this new body he really can't do it, so we eliminated that and made things, because then I was like, well, couldn't he just teleport to Dende? But I suppose as a baby his key is not really all too strong, so.
Or doesn't know what direction he's at or something. Or because the demon realm, it's like it's weird to cross those barriers. Who knows? Because without a password, could you go through that without a password? I don't know. It's weird.
So of course they tracked Pansy from her collar, like we had called out last episode.
That makes sense.
I love to make predictions and be wrong, though. I don't want the obvious thing to happen.
Right.
There are normal things in a story that's like, yeah, obviously that's what that's going to be. And
which is like, it's fine if you can't predict it, but it's like the expectation of like, oh, this is going to be clever enough to like, this is a Toriyama thing. He's going to be clever enough to subvert my expectations. But no, it's just
always some sort of
show
clever twist. Like, I mean, Doug, she cancan't take this collar off. Surely there's going to be like a clever way that she is able to get rid of this collar. Not a totally convenient.
Not just the
just a pan paka pan, right?
Pan paka pan. Which
So-
cute. He's still cute doing that, so it's great.
Yeah, it's
It's true.
And I think
team takes
correction.
up-
I think that is actually the final trailer thing. I forgot about the little Kaioshin thing. I think that's the final thing from trailers.
Oh, that's
that
right.
we've
We do
seen.
see that in there. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, the team takes out the military police and also managed to get a new one of their planes because their other one was damaged. But
Shot
what's really
during the fight. during the
right. But what's cool is that it's faster than the ones they have, so they can actually get there quicker, which is good because y'all were saying we're taking too much time to do this. Well, now we just cut the amount of time in half, so no longer 4 days, it's 2 days. So this convenience you should be praising because, like, oh, finally saving us from 2 more episodes of this.
But they're on their third plane now, and we could have saved a lot of time if it was just the first plane,
Yeah.
and we were just there.
It's just
Maybe
redundant
that's the
how
humor.
far places are.
Yeah.
The
Well,
humor
I'll
is
tell you,
that-
buddy.
yeah,
we have-
The humor ain't hitting this is for our demographic, I guess, or whatever. It made me think of like again,
the
the
show for
episode
children. I gotcha.
I know, but I'm saying like Toriyama has such a way of making anything funny because of his way of doing things. I was thinking back to the prior episode with the big Minotaur guy that they were gonna fight. While the Minotaur is back there with Shin and everyone just watching Goku and Glorio fight, it would have been funny if he wasn't just sitting there as well, just like in gall. But if he was at first, and then you cut to the fight, cut back to them, and then maybe the Minotaur's like serving drinks. I think back to Oolong during Battle of Gods when he did that, and like, or not Battle of Gods, the OVA, the Yo Son Goku Friends Return. Oolong is like serving drinks as they're watching the fight happening in the background. Like I wish the Minotaur did something funny like that. Like he's like, well, I'm here and let's just enjoy this.
That also would have been good.
You know what I mean? I'm just things of comedy just aren't really like doesn't have that Toriyama charm. Is all I'm trying to say.
See, I liked it when Goku ran into those bushes. I thought that was funny.
That was the hysterical night of my life.
All right. We do get a bit of some lore here for you had talked about, him removing the Shin removing the collar off of Pansy. And then it turns out like, oh, he also has, a demon realm name / a real name, which was Nahare. How do you guys feel about that? He's a Kakarot now. He's got his own original name.
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. It's just more like lore dump for lore dump.
It now makes it fit in with things because Nahare is an Osakan dialect version of the imperative verb suffix for do, just like we got Goasu and Degasu and all those. So thanks, Kanzenchu, for including that. And
I like how you
stealing
went to Goasu instead of Zamasu. Like he's
whatever.
your,
Couldn't remember
he's
that
your
guy's
touchstone character. I saw an image on the internet, of all places, if you can believe it,
Well,
that was talking about like Shin whenever he like starts fighting someone or like uses laser eyes or whatever at Majin Buu, he's going Nahare mode.
It's funny, on the last podcast episode, you guys were like, oh, no, his name is Shin, and then they made it definitive. And then the very next episode of the show, it's like, no, my name's Nahare. What?
I did like Goku being like, oh, well, then that's what I'll call you now. Nah, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah. That was funny. It's like,
I think Shin should have been like, sure thing, Kakarot, and be like, oh yeah, I don't like that. Maybe we'll just go back to what our own, personal choice of nouns are. Goku, Glorio, Shin, and Pansy arrive faster than normal to the town beside the Tamagami. Goku fills up on food and heads out for the showdown with Tamagami number 3.
These demon folk aren't like as bad as you would imagine, right? As you think demon people, they're just regular people in the world. It's one weird thing about this series.
You're making the discovery that people in Sandland had about demons.
About demons. We're all just guys, bro.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we just don't brush our teeth. Is that so bad?
These collars that all third world or third demon world residents wear are made of kachin steel or kachintite or clangite.
Oh, how convenient.
Only obtainable on planet Kaishin, which is another thing from that super exciting guide interview.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I think from the same paragraph that we've been coming back to over and over and over on this one, means world core or core world. It's just cool that we keep going back to that. They're really mining that paragraph for everything they
found
can.
that. Like, we're going to base it around everything.
Yeah.
Is
there anything else in that paragraph that
I know that we could predict from there?
Yeah, well, the Kaio also comes from that planet. So if they show like little catfish looking people walking around as well, then we'll know how much further we go with that.
Is that in the demon realm or is that outside the demon realm? Because then how did the demon realm get the metal?
So the assumption here is that the planet Kaishin exists in the demon realm. So maybe whatever the demon or the Kaioshin realm just took some of the stuff from it. I don't know.
Yes, I feel like Shin like summoned the metal when he was testing the Z sword or whatever. Out of
Shin guesses that Arinsu was a creator of the collars. Doesn't know for sure, but he said probably was her. All Majin have them in the third world, but of course Shin can remove the collar because he's a Gorindian. But anyone can do the spell that he does. So what does it matter if anyone can do it?
It's just that later on in the series, anyone else can remove the collar for everyone, I guess. I don't know.
It's such a line drop that I'm like, this is a little Chekhov-y again.
Yeah.
This is going to have to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can have foreshadowing / planning.
That's whole shadowing. That's not foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything about Collar? Episode 7, you guys want to go over before we jump into 8?
It's Pilar, not Peral.
What?
That lizard-looking dude who
Australian?
Pansy calls. He said that. Dude, these subtitles are going to be the death of me. Grand Marie? Just say military police, okay? Just leave it at that. And Peral.
Extra.
Para. I also do like Shin being the very like smart character in this group though. I still really like that. He's still like got his wits about him. Yeah, he's great in the series.
Pilar is a pun on Pelargonium. So it's a flower genus, flowering bushes.
Oh, okay.
So it's like literally in the name. It's like they took
Here he goes.
the kana and did absolutely zero research on a series based on puns everywhere of what to name these characters.
That's a shame.
And so I'm specifically talking, this is not an attack on, you can sleep at night, Yuko Kakihara. This is not at you. This is at your friends at Toei who are doing the English translation for this. Some timeline stuff. About 20 years ago, some guy challenged Tamagami number 3, which would have been 755, right?
Sure, why not?
No. What year are we in? 775. So yeah, 755.
That math checks
which
out.
Would have been like around the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. All right, cool. We're going to move into episode 8, Tamagami. This one's going to be pretty short because it's mostly action focused. Goku fights Tamagami number 3.
People are looking right now and they see we're only a sixth of the way through this discussion.
Oh, God. Goku fights Tamagami number 3, Nuebo versus Hammer, Super Saiyan versus Ball Lord. They have a beam struggle, and Goku gets in there as a Super Saiyan 2 to knock him out, and the battle is won, but there's still one other battle to be done. Before we jump into that second battle, guys, this action, it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Whoa! Over and over again.
You have to be blind to not see how fantastic this looked and choreographed, so yeah, it was great.
Okay, well, let me put my eye patches on, because this is now the third time that this series has done the thing where, like, the foreground is moving to show, like, the spin. And it's like, guys, do we have another way to kind of show this action? There's that. The Sheeta animation, dude. Sheeta going full Sheeta.
Sheeta.
I think even the most pedestrian of Dragon Ball fans, if they've heard of Sheeta, they look at this and instantly can recognize his animation style, because all of a sudden everything gets super smooth and super shaky. And you're like, whoa, all of a sudden this is incongruous with the rest of the series and everything else I've seen in it. And he needs people to rein him in a little bit. Because remember, he's the guy who's responsible for some of the greatest cuts in Dragon Ball Z, in which he wasn't going crazy like this. And this didn't really start until Battle of Gods, where he's just like, what if I just kind of gave you motion sickness when watching Dragon Ball? How about that, guys?
We were so overstimulated by this after seeing nothing happen last episode. This was like, whoa, stuff's happening.
Yeah, and I haven't gone back to watch this episode yet. But yeah, he does go Super Saiyan 2, but it's just like he's just all of a sudden Super Saiyan 2, and you can only tell because
after the battle was over and he like powered down. I'm like, oh, his hair is that way.
He's got the hair, a little electricity.
Yeah.
I heard the electricity after that first cut of like, elbowing him or punching him. I was like, wait, hold on. I'm hearing something. And then I'm checking. I'm like, okay, yeah, I see it. I'm not just hearing it. And then, just that last little bit with his hair. And I'm like, okay, cool. That is 2. We didn't just do that for funsies.
Now I got to buy another SH figure art. Super Saiyan 2 version.
Another character to be added to Sparking Zero. So looking forward to that. I don't know. I like that because it shows that we're, the Tamagami was stronger than he expected. It's probably like, oh, I only really have to go Super Saiyan to beat this guy. And it turns out, no, I'm going to need to finish him off by going another level higher. So likely Tamagami number 2, you got to push it up to maybe Super Saiyan 3. We'll see how it goes.
It kind of adds up because they said that Dabra couldn't even beat this guy.
Right.
So if you think about where everyone was power level just a year ago, and Goku not being in his prime, being in his mini version body, that he would have to go further to Super Saiyan 2 to do this. Which is, to me, in a vague power level sense, makes sense.
It does kind of make sense. Yeah. It's a good point too, because like we got so overstimulated with Dragon Ball Super, where like he never goes Super Saiyan 2. Well, he does, but he like barely goes Super Saiyan 2 there. It's like, oh, I thought we were kind of past that form. But if you like take it out of the equation and just remember this just comes after a year after Boo or whatever, it's like no, Super Saiyan 2 is still a viable form to be used.
Yeah.
And makes sense to be used now.
His strongest, most stable form at the time. So it does make sense. So the final test is to find the Dragon Ball hidden under this cup that I'm going to swish it around for a bit. And, of course we know how it's going to go. He's going to be able to pick it out or whatever. But I like that, it's not just a foregone conclusion that Goku's just be like, oh, I just know, like for whatever reason, like you watch, he is staring, unblinking. He's like, I'm not going to miss this.
He's locked in.
Yeah.
And it's just super speed. They fight quicker than that sometimes. So of course it shouldn't be a surprise that he could like kind of keep up with it.
Right.
The way this scene played out almost kind of like gave me whiplash because I'm like, oh, this is the Toriyama part. This feels Toriyama.
Oh my God. Ken, I thought the exact same thing.
Which made me instantly go, so was that whole fight that we just watched tacked on by the production team?
Oh, like it could have just been to this part. This would have been the challenge. Like that would have been funny if that was the challenge. Yes, and like as soon as they brought out the cup and balls, that sounds weird. As soon as he brought that out, I started getting annoyed. I'm like, this. But then I stopped. I'm like, what if this was a Toriyama thing in a manga? I feel like if this was in a manga, this would have played out way better, way funnier, without even changing much. Like all the dialogue that everyone says, just seeing it, something about the medium of a manga just makes something like this much more funnier. Because the music they use in this makes it seem too serious. When reading it in manga form, you kind of take it like lightheartedly. You know what I mean?
I think it should be played up a little more like a gag, but I was fine with the way this part was. This is actually, to me, and like looking at the heart of something, obviously we just watched a cinematic masterpiece of animation minus some screen shaking. This was what I loved from this part, this first half of the episode, was the cup thing. Yeah. Because when it started, I'm like, okay, what Chinese or Japanese folklore is he taking this from? Because this felt like Toriyama to me, not the big fight we just watched.
Absolutely.
I'm going to hold my tongue and we're going to...
Oh, no. Take it out. Stretch that tongue out. I need to know. The listeners need to know.
So,
yes.
The cup thing, I loved. Yeah. But you're like, this is great. Why did we have to have all this? Do you not... And it's always each fight that we have to do in the episode, we had to do that. Like, do you just not want any of that? Do you just want it to be running around? Because I can't think of a single action bit where you've been like, all right, it's not like, whatever, moving on. So I'm just curious.
I mean, the answer I don't want to give you is that what we got out of episode 8 of Daima is what I get every week out of Dan to Dan.
Okay.
And I understand why a scene like this has to exist in this show, which is aimed at children. I get it. I get that I'm a 36-year-old man watching a kid's show. And kids are not going to appreciate this cup thing the same way that I will. I know I happen.
Yes.
Okay? But to me, there's two halves to this first half of the episode. One felt distinctly Toriyama, and the other felt like something that was tacked on. Because it's not how, to me, it doesn't feel like how Toriyama would do an action sequence like that. Like, so I get what you're saying. We're on the same page. It just seems like I'm going Ken mode. Nahare. I'm Nahare Ken right now.
Of course.
Okay. So I get why
go
it's
somewhere
there.
in the middle though, where like I feel like the fighting scene does feel Toriyama. Like at this, because of the expectation of like Toriyama's name is on this. I watch the show with a different viewing lens of like, what would this look like in a manga panel? And so, like, I see the fight, I'm like, okay, it's like every move needs to make sense or make count. Like, you know, every like Goku using the Noibo to like kind of stop himself on the ground and everything. I'm like, I can see that as a panel that he would use and to come back and everything. Like, it all fits what Toriyama would want to do.
It's well choreographed. I'm not by any means saying this is bad. Yeah, I criticized the moving floor and the Sheeta shakiness and them not really making a big deal out of Super Saiyan 2 to the point where people are like, what just happened? It's a great sequence. I'm just saying, when the cup thing started and I kind of processed what was going on, I was like, oh, this was on the napkin. Maybe not so much that fight. You understand?
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
A fight happens and then this cup thing, and like he wrote like a paragraph for what the cup thing entails. All the dialogue.
I'm glad we discussed that, Randy. Don't hold back with me.
Yeah, Randy, this is what this is for.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like, yeah, maybe he didn't come up with that idea, but does that mean that if it wasn't a Toriyama thing, it can't be good or it can't be enjoyed? Like, other people can contribute.
I feel like Ken is saying that it just stood out more than the rest of the stuff, the dressing.
You can spot Toriyama's heart in a thing.
Yeah. That might be what we're looking too much, like me and Ken are probably looking too much for, is like the Toriyama inspiration. Yeah. So when we find it, we're like, oh, that was great.
Fair enough. So Goma and Degasu are scrubbing back through that Boo fight. They can't get enough of these episodes. They love watching it. It's their favorite arc.
This is a complaint I have about this show, and it's not what you think. We need way more Goma. All right?
Yes.
I said in the first episode, these two guys rule. Why are we not designating at least a third of each episode?
This is where the Toriyama comedy could shine, was with these two characters.
Do not introduce this great addition to the show, and then just, we're not going to use him. Yeah. I want more. And this gave me him overreact. Dude, I'm going to tell you, like, from this point where Goma and Degasu show up, dude, it is just a stellar rest of the episode to me. It's just like, this is what I wanted from this. The whole show is what I got in the second half of this episode.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff to be had here, and I'm glad that they're back on the scene for this. I can't remember how that scene starts out, but I'm just like rewatching it last night, you know, kind of half doing some other stuff, and I'm like, they're just watching these episodes again. Yeah,
it's like you're bored on a Saturday night. I'm booting up when Vegeta sacrifices himself. Let's go. That's these guys.
Our go-to Z episodes, but we got to get Degasu.
They're going frame by frame by frame with these things. Like, wait, what's that? And then just,
oh, check it out. They reanimated this part. That's so cool that they paid attention to
it. Doug, like, you've never frame by frame Dragon Ball before. Okay.
But they're watching through of, like, you know, the part of the Boo fight where they're like, hold on, there's something weird here. Enhanced. This is in HD now. We actually got this reanimated. It's in HD, not these bad upscales or whatever. We're smearing everything.
Blu-ray Dragon Box quality.
Yeah, the 30th anniversary piece of shit. So zoom in. Enhance. Oh, AI enhance. Oh, that's Arinsu. What's she doing there? Why was she there at the time? She picks up a little broken off piece of Boo and puts it in a little tube.
I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I like it because it gives me. They made a big deal about Arinsu being ambitious, right? Remember, Degasu, he's ambitious. Also, Arinsu is ambitious, you know? Mm-hmm. I think she set Dabra up to get mind controlled by Babidi, to get him out of the way, because she said in this episode she wants to become the Great Demon King. So I think she's behind everything. She could be behind so much more in the Boo arc that we haven't even gotten to yet.
She created Avalanche.
I mean, because we had that thing when they went to Mr. Warp of being like, oh, we're gonna go here. It's like, oh, that's fun. Like Arinsu was there recently, but like, yeah, whatever. So it's like, oh, so now we're seeing what she was up to, which is really cool. This is like 5 episodes later, which I love stuff like that.
All right,
so,
Randy, I'm gonna tickle you a little bit because I know how much you're dying for the show to still tie into Super.
Okay.
He asks for it every day.
Whatever that Maba and Arinsu are concocting should still have God Key.
Oh. Meaning?
Yeah, because that Kaioshin was still...
Yeah.
Was still... Right. That was before we expelled that whole thing. Okay. Yeah, that's true. That's exciting.
How's it tie back into Super?
I mean, because that's where Super brought up, like, oh, their God Key exists and is a whole different set of crap. So. Yeah,
remember Boo split and Kid Boo went and he was the one who had the God Key and Fat Boo no longer had it. Remember? They made a whole big deal out about it. But at this point in time, whatever that little thing was that Arinsu took should still have some God Key in it.
That's true. I think it was his testicle. So Arinsu goes to this old witch. Is it Maba? Is it Marba? What are we going with here?
So the best I can come up with is if you Romanize it out, it's M-A-A-B-A. Okay, and you split that into 2 parts, and then you take that elongated M-A-A, and you take that second A off of it, and you pop it onto the B-A-A. So then you have M-A-B-A-A, which would be like evil old lady, magic woman, magic granny, something like that, which is kind of what she is. So to me, that's the pun. We don't know for sure, and we won't ever know until someone tells us. But
it doesn't have anything to do with nothing with Cinderella. Just like
that was what was driving me insane the entire time watching the episode. I'm like, okay, how does this fit into the song? Because we get the revelation that BBD didn't do Jack, and actually she
made Majin Buu,
and BBD just wanted control over the thing. And so we're also rewriting the guide lore of he's existed since time immemorial, which is fine. That was from a guide. It's not from actual in the manga. Here's what's said, and here's what is happening.
I'm not so sure it does override it, but we'll have to see how this plays out.
Of course. We'll have to see how it goes. But
could be what they call the fairy godmother. I don't know. We'd have to look that up. What do they call her in that?
That's true. She sings the song. So
yeah. Oh, she oh my God.
She created Bibbidi Bobbidi and Boo.
Now, what's particularly interesting, this whole scene is interesting, and it's the kind of like, this is like a lore scene, right? This is what I was talking about earlier with the Kaioshin stuff, where they split it up across 3 episodes. And not to say that we won't get more lore here based, but it's just like they're letting 2 characters have a conversation to teach us a crazy amount that changes everything we've ever thought we knew about Dragon Ball. And it's like, that's what I like. Yeah. Let these characters talk and interact and breathe the story through them. But Arinsu says she's already had Maba create 1 Majin for her. Gloria.
Oh.
Daima has a lot of Toriyama-esque ideas and, well, directly Toriyama ideas being readapted into it. Is Toa and Mira being adapted, we've kind of predicted, into Arinsu and Glorio?
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for where this could go, man. It's crazy stuff.
That makes sense, though. The Glorio thing.
Yeah. I really liked the part where, like, putting in the last bit, which is her saliva, and we have the smoke pluming up, and it's just the shapes of, like, Fat Boo and Super Boo and Kid Boo.
Yeah.
You didn't see it. Did you have your eyes open? Were you awake during this time?
No, we didn't see her spit into she covered it with her.
You didn't see the Haktua?
I know, we didn't get to see the full Haktua. I was like, and then it's just like, all right.
Well, now we know what Doug's into. So
5 out of 10 stars for this series after that.
But yeah, that whole time of, like, the 2 of them talking, like, there's some tension there between the 2 of them, which I really liked. And I'd like to see what Maba's deal is.
She just doesn't want to be held responsible for creating Boo because all the trouble that it caused in the demon realm and everywhere else.
That's fair.
So I didn't make it.
This creation will have the essence of Boo in it, so everything should be okay. And then, according to Arinsu, Maba is the one who actually created Boo. Bibbidi came to her and asked her to do it.
It's such a great scene. It's well animated, and just like the performances by both of them are super great, and just all of the information that we're kind of getting and we get to digest very, very quickly, and just like, all the synapses are firing.
I hate to say it, but we're getting too much Goku in this show when there's so many other side stories we could be going to. I think that's my main critique with this.
That's true.
Like we get Goku's character, yes, and especially now that he's a kid, it's like, yes, he just wants food and to fight. We're not getting much more of him in this series, unfortunately, besides that.
Yeah, I feel like we've really regressed on Goku.
Yeah.
As we've gone along, which could be like story dependent of as the more time he spends in this younger body, he slowly starts to regress
I don't think
mentally.
This series is that smart enough to do that, though, unfortunately.
To explain why he's so dumb and super. It's like he was a kid for too long, and now he's just forgotten all of the math.
Yeah, no, they went to GT rounds. Like, no, he's a kid now, so he's gonna act like a kid, even though he's actually a 60-year-old man or whatever.
Yeah, but in GT, remember there were times where he got like hella serious, and the time when he fought Gohan and Goten, and he was like, "Hey, I'm your father. I got to kill my sons. I'll kill you if I have to." Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So even though he was in a kid's body in GT, they knew when they were like, "Okay, we need to like." Personality-wise, age him back up because this is where we need to go.
We still haven't seen him. He could still be doing that in Daima too. Like he hasn't
eventually
had a time. Maybe when Bulma gets around. No, but then Vegeta will take the spot of like the I gotta protect my wife thing
when things stop being so convenient.
Yeah, yeah. And when are Bulma and them gonna get there? Every time you watch the ending, you're like, oh, this is gonna be an adventure with everyone, but they're not even grouped up yet.
They're going to a hotel.
I forgot. Yeah, they're going to a hotel. I forgot that they even arrived in the demon realm. Like, when did that happen again? They're here, but they're not together still. It's very, very odd. And it's like, I don't even know if I want them to group up together anymore. I want them to have their own separate adventure. Like, how about they go to Demon Realm 1 and then they have we get more of their side story of them there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to pawn out. For how these groups are going to meet and then what their dynamics are going to be, and what does that mean for, how fights are going to go, because now we've got Vegeta and Piccolo there. So,
Yeah.
At least Piccolo is going to be there for what I assume to be Demon World number 2, because that's where Glorio and them are headed off to. So,
yeah. How are we feeling about Glorio? He's a nothing character to me, honestly.
He is a wet fart of a character.
Yeah. I mean, I'm more interested now that you're theorizing that he could be a Majin, one of the first Majins that Arinsu had her make him. But yeah, besides that, nada.
I think we're playing things close to the chest here, and there's going to be something that happens pretty big later. And so
he's going to turn on them, take the Dragon Balls, have Arinsu grant a wish.
So, but in the meantime,
although she already is.
In the meantime, make him an enjoyable character. The most I've liked Glorio is that moment when he was trying to negotiate for the Sky Seed. And almost kind of showed maybe he might be a little fun, but no.
It would be so great if it's like some fun leaked out here and there, like he had where he's having fun, but he has to hold himself back. Oh no, wait! But we don't get any of that. He's just been a wet blanket the entire time.
It's like in The Good Place, right? Mm-hmm. If you haven't watched The Good Place season 1, skip ahead like 2 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Final warning. All right. So it's like you spend so much time with Michael, right? Who's so likable, even when you think he's someone who he's not. But we're not getting any of that with Glorio. He just sucks, and
he's just typical gonna turn character.
If he's gonna get cool once the twist happens, and he hasn't been cool at all since,
right?
He needs to be cool now. I need to like him now.
We need to want the cool version of him to really come out after he betrays them. But
so that way we can be like, no, I loved him, and now he's this way, and I'm pining for those good old days.
Exactly, pawning.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
Before we get to actually finishing talking about this episode, I want to show my notes here. Again, they do not know how to end an episode of this show.
Ken has it in huge, bold letters.
Yeah.
We have some humorous moment of Vegeta having to say, please Kudasai.
Oh yeah, and then it just fades out to black.
Fades to black.
What a weird. I'm like, is that the ending of the episode? Is that then? Oh, credits. Okay, credits are rolling. Okay, I guess that's the end.
Yeah. All right. Nakama.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny, and it's just kind of like, yeah, we've got to stretch things to make it fit into a Japanese television time slot rather than.
Randy, I agree with you. We are in so much more agreement than you could possibly know. I thought it was funny. And then it just fades to black. And I'm like, what?
Edit a Friends episode to end that way and see how you feel. Oh, that's what they need to do. They just need to like have the credits over and then just start playing part of the song.
As they're laughing.
So yeah, that's episode 8. Tamagami. And next episode, we get to see Goku's getting serious and going to fight somebody in his pajamas. So
that'll
count
be cute.
me in. I'm excited. It's going to be fun.
We're just aching for something new at this point. That's the only reason. Oh, him in pajamas? Yeah.
Prediction. Do we make it to the second demon world next episode?
No.
Oh, absolutely not. We still gotta talk to Demon Realm people like, hey, you did a good job. Here, have some free food. Oh, thank you. And all that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, I want to. So from the next episode preview, it shows that some thieves have broken in, probably to steal the Dragon Ball, because like they said, news of this was going to go everywhere.
That sounds like filler already.
I know. Bulma underwater crab fight filler. Oh, no. So will that have some sort of like important impact, or will it just be a thing that happens? Predictions.
It is either the exact same or connected to the band of thieves that took their first plane. And we're going to, be like, okay, we got to get them back or like do something. Or they're taking something more. I'm like, oh, these guys are actually up to some real no good stuff.
I think this might force Glorio to reveal his true colors for a moment. Like where, I don't know how, but I get the feeling like Glorio's going to take it a lot more seriously than Goku is about like not getting stuff stolen. Like the Dragon Ball is. Like, it's very important that he get those Dragon Balls to Arinsu. So he's like, no. It's like, and Goku's like, no, we can just do this later. No, we need to get this now, kind of thing. And
all right, here's what I want to happen. And people listening, you either know if this happened or if it didn't. Okay?
Yes.
Yep.
I want these guys to show up, and then Glorio, Goku, and all them think that they're trying to steal the Dragon Ball. And there's a huge misunderstanding, which leads to a cool fight. But it turns out, because they're Majin of the third demon world, they want to help them so they can get these collars off. And they're actually totally on their side, and they apologize for stealing the plane, all that sorts of stuff.
I would love that. I would love that.
That would also be fun.
Let's fast forward to that time. Oh, wow. I can't believe that was right. Wow, your prediction was true. Spot on.
Thank you. Yeah. Dude, Daima rules, man.
Daima's the best.
All right. Well, we're going to leave it there talking about these episodes of Daima, and we're going to take a little break, and we're going to come back to hear what you had to say about stuff that happened in this episode.
I'm excited to hear that. Yeah.
Stick around. We'll be right back. Hey there, we're back from break, and I still 100 episodes into the show don't know how to roll in out of that. So we just wanted to hear
you really
what you guys had to say about Dragon Ball Daima in this very nice. Should I just do it again?
Nope.
Great.
Not gonna get any better than that.
Not gonna get any better. So of course, Ken knocking out of the park over there on that blue sky. Dr. Arinsu is back, baby. And asking, isn't she the best? And how great do you think that she is? Ken, what do you have to say about this?
Yeah, Shane comes in and says, she is good girl for me.
Good girl. Wow.
We all got to have pet names for our waifu crushes, and I think that's good. It's good to have. Jacob Sawyer, hell yeah, Dr. Arinsu rules. I know next to nothing about her, but she elevates every scene she's in.
That's funny.
Kyle Lone writes in and says, it's great to finally get a woman, well, kind of, as a proper major antagonist. Dragon Ball is severely lacking in these, even in spin-off material. The fact that she's siblings with both one of our guys and one of the other villains she seemingly intends on betraying already adds some interesting wrinkles to her plot. She's been a delight in all of her scenes so far. Love how she manipulates all the folks around her in various ways. Hope she can keep this momentum going.
Great. Very well said.
And yeah, it does kind of seem like she might be the actual major main antagonist.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that, keeping us on our toes. Saban saw this a little late. Anyways, I'm curious as to where they take this plot line. My cynical side makes me think this whole series was now made to do Boo again, but they just did that with Frieza and Cell and Broly. I mean, you know what? They've done so many of these. Why not keep doing it? We gotta just knock out Boo.
Ken's theory of Glorio being a Majin as well is true. Then he could look different. The scale of how Glorio looks like and what Majin Buu looks like is so different that we can get it's not just gonna be like a clone of Majin Buu is what I'm saying.
Well, they're using Majin. They're redefining what we've assumed Majin necessarily to mean, and now it just means like you are a resident of the demon realm,
right?
So when she says like she's had a Majin made, it just means just a demon, really.
But now that we're using actual Buu's genes or whatever, it might look more like him.
So I think our assumption of like Majin Buu, Majin meaning genie or some such, is now kind of like out the window. It just means something different, more vague.
Magic man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we've got GGF. Remember who read Moro for the first time with us? They write in and say, she's pretty okay. It's nice to finally have a female antagonist in Dragon Ball. She's got a lot more going on plot-wise than Degasu or Goma, and her involvement or creation of Glorio is providing some good intrigue. Still don't know why you guys are going gaga for her. Is it really just her having big boobs? You know, you can see those online whenever you want, right? Oh, I do like her big hair. There's a positive note.
It's the hair.
It's
sure.
Yeah, the hair.
I just think she's cool. I know, and I just go along with it because I know that Ken just likes it for her ample personality.
Plot.
So Marcus says, looking forward to seeing more of her. Hope whatever she's cooking up isn't like Janemba Max or something. Would be amazing if she brings some actually interesting or distinctive magical abilities to the table. Kind of like what Doug wanted to see from Moro in the manga, but we didn't get.
Hey.
Read Daima more broadly, I'm mixed on it. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone who wasn't pretty deep in the into the Toriyama iceberg. The pace is a bit trying, and I think it could use better jokes. The superhero movie had a much better batting average for actual laugh-out-loud moments, in my opinion. Episode 6 and 8 of Daima made good impressions, but while a more deliberate pace can be kind of refreshing these days, I don't know that Daima has been using its screen time intelligently. Look at how much the Forest Land arc of Sandland was able to do in just 6 episodes compared to Daima so far.
Yeah.
I want to say that when we reviewed the Forest arc of Sandland, one of us said something along the lines of, this sets a high bar for like working in Toriyama's world. Specifically regarding Daima coming up.
Yeah.
And I still kind of feel that way. Forest arc was really good. I think, regarding not recommending it Daima to people, it kind of is starting to feel like the show where you're just like, hey, check out this cut. Check out this fight.
Oh no, yeah.
So a series that will live on in YouTube compilations.
Especially, I didn't make the mistake this week of watching Dandadan before or after to compare it, so I might have been a little more harsh on Daima if I had watched more Dandadan.
It might be, check this out in the Kakarot DLC when you get a chance.
Yeah.
I want to let people know this is the last time I'm going to talk about Dandadan in relation to Daima. Because No, I swear, because it needs to be. Because if someone out there hasn't seen Dandadan and disagrees with me, I might be poisoning the well for them on that show, which I do not want to do.
Right.
Because it does not deserve that. So, Dandadan, check it out. I'm not talking about it again in relation
to Dandadan, more Jajajakan. John Chakajan?
Yeah.
Yes, nailed it.
Rockman writes in, and Rockman171 says, now that you're on a platform I actually use, smiley face, we took our time, but we got here. I like that we not only have a true female villain, but a villain that has multiple plots going at once behind the scenes. We don't get too many effective schemers in Dragon Ball, let alone ones that have more than just a one-note plan. She also retconned Bibbidi from being the most useless deep lore character to a somehow even more useless character, which was hilarious. She also rides a flying hookah. Does the Majin M actually stand for Marba, since it seems to be her insignia? Do we need to retroactively call him Marba Vegeta from now on?
Whoa.
Crackpot theory for the Saiyanist Super/Daima connection believers like myself and Randy. Shin and Kibito fuse with the bugs on Earth, but it turns out the Demon Realm air is what makes the bug fusion temporary, thus making them perma-fused before Super begins again.
And somehow they can't go back to the Demon Realm. Like, Warp Sama is dead.
It's just not on their schedule. They're a bit too busy.
So the M, this might blow your mind, never stood for Majin.
Right.
It stood for Madoshi, or magician.
Yeah.
So
fun
fact.
Bibbidi, though, then, right? Bibbidi and Bobbidi?
Bibbidi, Bobbidi, and Maba all have it because they are Madoshi magicians.
Madoshis. Oh, okay.
Which is interesting that there's a distinction because all demons have some magic. So they're all technically
sorcerers. So maybe it's a little different. They use a different, darker, deeper kind of magic that we haven't even talked about yet in the show. Who knows?
Maybe.
But no, I don't think it ever stood for Majin. Majin Vegeta was just a good shorthand that everyone kind of used.
Yeah.
And it's like Mystic Gohan, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's
It's
not real.
It's a fan term that's stuck around.
People use it, yeah.
I mean, it's still like it, demon person Vegeta.
Yeah.
Was it the Budokai games that called him like Demon Prince Vegeta or something like that? Or was it
Dark Prince or something like that, yeah. Prince, yeah. There's a specific phrase that they use for him, but I'm not going to call him Madoshi Vegeta. I'm still calling him Majin Vegeta, right? That's just,
of course,
just what you use.
Yeah. It's the easy way to go, and everybody knows what you're talking about. Okay, so if you're not listening, if you're not listening to the show on Spotify, I would say go over there and check it out because we've got polls for each episode, so you can interact there. You also leave comments there now, so if YouTube isn't your thing or Blue Sky isn't your thing, hop on over to Spotify. You can just leave a comment and we'll look at it there. We'll read it. We could respond to it there. It's really, really great. So our poll from the last episodes 5 and 6, do you think Pansy has other magic than what she's shown so far? And we have the majority of people saying, that she's hiding something. There's more to her.
What's her magic right now? Just good with machines?
She can lift things with her mind. There was that rock that she just kind of lifted.
I don't recall that at all, but wow.
Yeah, okay. It was very much a throwaway thing. And she's like, but anyway, I'm good with machines, which isn't a, magic thing. It's just, her vocation. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So there'll be one for this episode. And you'll find out what that is because I don't come up with it until I have to put it in when I'm putting the episode up. So
last minute struggle.
Yeah, exactly. And that's pretty much it. Other than trivia, which Doug, you've been gone too long.
Now my brain has been deactivated for so long. I don't know how it's going to recuperate.
And Doug, I killed it last week, so I really think this one should be all you.
That's true.
Right.
True. It's my time to shine.
Kind of got like 5 out of 6, something like that. It was
2 out of 3.
So we've only got 3 this time because we weren't making up for a missed episode. So here we go. What is the name of Dr. Arinsu's voice actress?
The name of her? Mommy. Yeah. That's what I call her.
Interesting.
No clue.
I wonder how she'd react to that. No clue. It is Yoko Hikasa. So commit that to memory.
Who's that?
And it's the voice actress for Dr. Arinsu.
Sorry, what else is she known for or anything else?
Don't know. I just opened this trivia now. And
gosh,
she didn't
I don't know why I keep asking her any questions, follow-up questions. Like he did it. He's like, I don't know. I'm just reading the cue cards.
You know what? Zenpai, our trivia deity, seemed to be on the same track as Doug here. Question number 2. Yoko Hikasa played yet another well-endowed character in a famous harem anime. Which one?
I was going to say Tsunade until you said harem anime, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it Love Hina? Love Hina's only harem anime I've ever seen.
It's not Love Hina.
I can't even name another one outside of Tenchi and Love Hina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goddess, maybe.
Right, yeah. Well, it is Ries Gremory from High School DxD. So,
never saw that. Always wanted to.
Me neither. Well, your time is now, Doug.
No,
go make it happen.
That's the kind of anime, if someone catches you watching, you have to suddenly explain a whole lot.
There's no explaining your way out of it. And he's like, I just want to see boobs.
Yeah. Yep. Which you can look up on the internet at any time.
Apparently, that's what I've heard.
It's true, though. I've never quite understood that. Anyway, who is the lyricist for Jaka-Jan, Dragon Ball Daima's opening theme?
What, B. Miller? Oh, no,
Yeah,
that's different.
Nope.
Isn't
Zed,
it
but
start with
Zed
a
is the guy
C?
who made the music, not the lyrics.
It's like CELL.
CM Punk.
Cell, huh?
Yeah.
Bleh.
Yeah.
He's just back there.
He's a secret poet.
No, it is Yukinojo Mori, the lyricist for pretty much everything Dragon Ball. I mean, he says slight exaggeration, but, it did Head Chala and, tons of other things. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. You should have seen that really great video from Totally Not Mark where they dove into,
Oh, I did,
all the
but
people for that.
my Japanese names are my weakness, and Senpai knows it, and that's what he always makes the questions about.
Okay, so I wonder why then the lyrics in Jakajan are so literal.
They really just tried making it Toriyama, the name, fit in there somehow, and I think they made the song lyrics around that, right? Because the Tori and the Yama and everything, they made that.
To me,
Akira Menai. Yeah.
it still reads like the Muppet Show intro to me.
Yeah, as soon as you get to the part where it's like, here comes a new story, you're like, okay.
Yeah. It's time to
Thousand jabs.
It's time to light the lights.
Yeah.
That's what I think about too, but you know what? I like that. So
Yeah,
I
it's
have
still
anything
good.
against that.
Dude, I love the Muppets. Don't get me started. I got Kermit the Frog up here, okay? So
He does, it's right there in the middle. Wow.
He's always been
center.
just out of frame.
With his
Yeah.
legs spread out and everything.
Oh man. Well, hopefully you guys do better on trivia next time. But for now, that's going to be it. Thanks for listening. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the world. You can post with us on Blue Sky, and we're keeping it easy just at wegotapodcast.com, or you can email us at wegotapod@gmail.com.
Nice. Thank you to Rifti Beats for letting us use his track, Kakarot Theme Hip Hop Trap Remix. You can find that track and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can the good people find you?
the good and the bad people can find me at detectivex.bsky.social on Blue Sky.
Nice.
Randy?
You can find me at Saberbreaker. I can't remember if there's an underscore or not. I'm just now realizing.
No underscore.
There is no underscore. Saberbreaker.wegotapodcast.com over on Blue Sky. Doug, what about you?
Yeah. It's Shabazz Doug. I finally have a Blue Sky. Thank you. Hold your applauses. Play thank you. I don't know what the link for that is. It's just Shabazz Doug Blue Sky.
It's on the
someone already took Jabaz. So I don't know who took Jabaz, but thanks for that.
Yeah, and their avatar is the cat.
But yeah.
Gotta have that. Great.
Oh, yeah. So we're at the end of the episode now, which means it's Cell Junior activation time, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, review. Let us know what you think of the series. I always, every now and again, like to go over to the Apple podcast page to see if there's any new reviews left on there. And it's always a joy to see a new one of those because it's cool to hear what you guys think of the show.
Yeah, totally.
Tell your friends on the playground, tell your moms, and we will cut out that middle mom and catch you matinator.
Would you buy this picture? You'd buy it, right? Someone will buy it. I sign it. Shabazz Doug, Blue Sky. I know Ken will cut appropriately.